Become a channel member and support the content. You also get access to exclusive videos. You'll get an emote next to your name in the comments. The link for that can be found next to the subscribe button or in the description. And beat the random lottery that is FIFA points by buying the coins direct from u7buy.com. Use code TVM at checkout for a 5% discount, or if you're a new customer, get 8% discount. The link is down below. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to talk about the Europa League Road to the Final upgrade path. We will mention the Champions League as well. It's a slightly different upgrade path. It's kind of the same, but it's a little bit different, and we'll talk about it when we get there. I'm going to be using Kessie as an example. There's an awful lot of Europa League football on tonight, mainly second legs, so we can go through what teams may or may not progress, what players we can look forward to, but primarily we are going to focus on one player who is definitely not going to get an upgrade regardless of the performance of his team, or rather former team tonight. But we're also going to talk about Kessie. Now, this is the upgrade path for not just Kessie, but any player with a Road to the Final card. Manchester United, I think there's two of them, Rashford and Pogba. We'll talk about Pogba in just a second. But Kessie currently has an 84 rated card. He achieved that by, or rather his team achieved that for him, by qualifying for the round of 16. They are currently 2-2 away from home, I think it was, against... I mean, I can't even say the name of the team that they played against. So, I mean, I would have thought they'd win the second leg, but they couldn't win the first leg, so I'm not sure. But either way, if they were to qualify for the quarterfinals, Kessie gets upgraded to an 85. If they then qualify for the semi-finals, he gets upgraded to an 86. And if they qualify for the final, he gets upgraded to an 87. It is a one upgrade all the way along. And then, of course, if they end up winning the whole competition, he goes to an 88. It's a little bit of a... not a cop-out, but I think it's a little bit harsh to only give the card a one upgrade if the team go all the way to the end and they win the tournament. What I mean by that, I know he's gone up by 4 overall from an 84 to an 88, but what I mean is, yes, he's gone up by 1, round of 16, quarterfinals, semi-finals, and then to the final. I think going to the final itself, maybe they should get upgraded by 2 for reaching the final, because that's a big achievement. But then for winning, maybe they should get another 2 again. Because by the time we actually get the final card, we are going to be in our end game zone. You know, the Europa League final, I don't really know when it is date-wise. I'm not sure if it's even been announced yet. But we are going to be in that team of the season sort of end zone, which means there's going to be team of the season cards everywhere. There's going to be higher rated cards than this 88 rated Kessie. It is a bit of a shame that he hasn't gone from an 86 to an 88 for the qualifying for the final, and then to potentially go to a 90 for winning the tournament. Of course, there are different cards out there. It's not just going to revolve around Kessie. You've got different players playing for different teams, and they are higher rated. So, for example, if we were to take Paul Pogba, we can see that he is going to go to an 88 if Manchester United progress. Now, they are currently 4-0 up in their first leg against Real Sociedad. It looks like they're going to go through. No disrespect to Real Sociedad, but I really don't see them coming from 4-0 down and beating Manchester United 5-4. So it means Pogba goes from an 87 to an 88. Now, he already has an 88 rated card. These are the stats from that 88 rated inform, but it will take effect over the weekend. That is something that a few people have asked me with regards, in certain reviews with regards to the Europa League Road to the Final cards. When do they upgrade? When do we get them? Well, supposedly over the weekend is when we would get them. But my point being, if Pogba were to get that double jump, if Manchester United made it to the final and then eventually won the tournament, the problem with that is that Paul Pogba card then becomes extremely high rated. Now, just as an example, if they follow the upgrade path I believe they should follow, then Paul Pogba could potentially go to a 93 if Manchester United were to make it to the final and he did get a 2 boost, and then they won the final and then he got another 2 boost, he would go to a 93. Unfortunately, that isn't the case, and Paul Pogba will not go to a 93 because they're only doing 1 every round, which, like I said, I feel like it's a little bit of a cop-out, because by the time this card actually would happen, it wouldn't be... It would still be amazing, but it wouldn't be as good as it, as some of the other cards that are coming out at the time. In fact, this is what the card would look like if Manchester United went on and won the Europa League final, which is still a good card. 91 rated Paul Pogba is still a very good card. It's just, if he were to get a team of the season, for example, it's unlikely that he will, but what I'm saying is, if he had a team of the season, it would be, what, 94, 95 rated? Maybe higher again? So it's not going to be in there competing with team of the season cards. I don't understand why they couldn't have just given that +2 for winning the final and even making it to the final. A player that won't be making it to the final is Quincy Promes. Now, this is a big shame because he literally yesterday transferred to Spartak Moscow for around 8.5 million euros, I believe it was, and therefore is no longer an Ajax player and therefore no longer eligible for upgrades. So even if Ajax go on to win the entire competition, it doesn't matter. As far as this road to the final card concerned, obviously it would matter to Ajax fans, I'm sure, but it won't matter with regards to this card. This will remain the same whether Ajax win their next game 21-0 or whether they lose it 21-0 because he doesn't play for them anymore. It is a shame that that means essentially you've bought a card that is dynamic, that is eligible for upgrades, so therefore the sky's the limit. And now all of a sudden, just because he's transferred away from the club, it means he's no longer dynamic, which means you've now got a card that you've bought under the pretense of, oh, he may go up if Ajax perform well. Oh, he doesn't play for them anymore, and now this card is redundant. It doesn't do what it said on the tin when I bought it. So I'm not saying EA should rectify that problem and give him upgrades based on Ajax performance because he doesn't play for them anymore. It wouldn't be right. However, maybe what they should do in that respect is if a player transfers from a club and has a dynamic card, what should happen is he gets a permanent +2 upgrade, and that's it, we call it a day, because people have bought that, with logic in mind. Yes, it's a good card as is, but maybe they've looked at the fixtures, they've gambled on it essentially. They're placing a bet, which is, wrong in itself for a Peggy 3, but that's a different story. They're placing a bet, they've had a look at it, and they've gone, right, Quincy Promes plays for Ajax. They've got this sort of run. I believe they're good enough to win this game, that game. He's likely to go to a minimum of an 86 or 85. I think he's worth paying the money for. But then he moves club, and yet I know that's the risk you take, but at the same time, I think EA needs to have some sort of contingency in place where they say, we'll give him a +2 upgrade if he leaves a club. And I think that should be the same for every player, whether it be, and every card type, whether it be a headliner, whether it be a ones to watch, whether it be a road to the final, they should just give them a permanent +2. They're not going to do that, unfortunately. This card is now 84, and it will be till the end of the game, but that's just my opinion. And a very brief word on the Champions League, because this is a little bit trickier, a little bit difficult. Not difficult, but it's just a little bit different, which is weird in itself. It shouldn't be, but it is. So they qualify for the group stage, you get an upgrade. We've already been to that stage. Win the first knockout game. So not round, just game. So for example, Liverpool beat Leipzig. So therefore, Liverpool's road to the final card gets upgraded. However, if Leipzig beat Liverpool by 3-2, for example, in the second leg, and Leipzig go through, Liverpool's road to the final card remains as it is, but the Leipzig road to the final card will then get upgraded. But of course, if Liverpool do go on to qualify, regardless of the result on the night, if they qualify, the Liverpool road to the final card will get upgraded. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. And then, of course, it follows the exact same path then. One every round. So quarterfinal, semi-final, final, and then winning the final, it just goes up by one. It's exactly the same as it would be in the Europa League. So the only difference between the Champions League and the Europa League is that first knockout win. I don't understand why they do that. There has to be a reason for it, but, it is what it is. So there's the upgrade path, long-winded, and I've thrown in my opinion in there as well. But let me know what you think of it in the comments section down below. And it's been common knowledge since they released it, but I thought I'd give you a quick update on Quincy Promes no longer being eligible, what cards could look like, when it will happen, which is, of course, this weekend after the games have taken place, and what I think of it. Do you think cards should be boosted slightly greater for reaching the final and for winning the final? Let me know in the comments. If you have enjoyed this video and want to see more of this type of thing, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Join the Betting Rebellion and find out what your football knowledge is really worth.